pretty much everything this filmmaker touches turns to gold. And this time, we are back with Thangalan and the two stars of the film. Thank you for talking to NDTV. And let's start with you, Ranjit. You always come up with such complex characters, and the way you put out your story on Dalits, and also you have always been in support of them, taking their art and their music. We have always seen supportive of their culture. I want to know, when you are writing something like this, don't you ever feel that how many cuts might come from the CBFC? How many, who will say no to this? What will be the criticism? How will people take it? Let's make it more simpler. Or you like it complicated?
Actually, I'm enjoying it. I think these things definitely it will come in front of me, and I wanted to face it and challenge it because of my earlier times, my childhood. I'm facing a lot, and so that time I decided I wanted to face it. I don't want to run from anything. I just wanted to stand and shout and face it, and that is my challenge. That is my enjoyment. That is my voice. So of course we have limitations. We have a limitation. We have we don't have so much of support. I understand that they have a lot of perspectives. They have a lot of rules and things. But my thing is, I don't want to fit anything. Like they wanted to do something. No, they wanted to continue that practicing things. I don't want to fit in that. I just want to fight. That is my thing. That is my wanting. That is my duty. Cultivation of mind, human existence. Baba Saheb Ambedkar said like that. So I'm doing it. That's my. I don't care about anything. I wanted to fight.
That's amazing. And Vikram, it's not every day that we get you in Mumbai. So when you look at yourself, like I am looking at the poster and then I'm looking at you, I'm like, ये वही इंसान है.
I have that doubt sometimes.
Yeah, like when you got that look, when you saw yourself in the mirror, what was your first expression? And did you take a picture and send it to your wife, your kid?
I already had him in my mind the moment he narrated to me.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him then, so it wasn't a surprise.
It wasn't?
No, and I didn't send it to anybody at home because I wouldn't want them to sing it till they see the movie. I'm very closed about that. But I felt happy that I could become that because I'm very far from him. So it took some doing, but I knew it could be done. We worked on it, Ranjit and I. We went through lots of different references and what we would look like in those periods. But this guy is not a normal person from that period. He's somebody who's a leader, and he's also like a what do you call it? He's like a witch doctor, not a witch doctor exactly, but he's somebody who can actually find gold, and he's got all these special tricks that he has to chase away snakes, or he knows a lot of hacks. So he had to be a little different. So what do we do to make him different but still belong?
But usually our idea of a hero in a film, especially Indian film when we are talking about, is very different.
Yeah.
And then to see something like this, and coming from Vikram, it was a shocker in a good way. Yeah. It just shows that things are changing, perspective is changing, the way we are writing films are changing. When the film came to you, for a second also, did you think, I don't have that swag here, I'm not the hero, typical, should I do this? Were there doubts in your head?
Not like that. I like if a character demands something, and if I feel that character's like, it's begging to be played or essayed, and I feel I want to do that role, I'll just do anything for him. And it doesn't matter. And I feel he looks pretty hot, actually.
Yeah, he is.
Forget about the blood. I mean, I kind of like.
Even that's hot.
He's very. There's something about maybe because you're seeing him all messed up. It's a very interesting.
I'm not even said that he's not hot.
No, I'm saying it's a very arresting look. So I didn't have to feel, I'm becoming ugly or stuff like that. But the choice of wearing clothes like this was something. It was a huge step, which I had already, like the moment he told me, I knew about the implications. I knew what it would mean. I also knew very clearly that no mainstream hero, whether he's a star or not, would want to do this. Like nobody would do this. They would say make it a little longer, but definitely not the hair, and definitely not become messy like this, and definitely not go through the rigors of what we did when we were shooting. You know, it's a very difficult role to essay that way. I mean, all of us worked hard, but for somebody who's like, all of us, we are in that comfort zone where we can, you know, which you say. So in that, I think wearing a loincloth would have been the biggest box to tick, which nobody would be willing to. And everything else follows after that. So I don't think they would have crossed that box, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not being brash while I'm saying it. I'm just saying it's a big risk I took. It's like, you know,
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying.
which for me didn't feel like a risk at all, because I knew that the character is going to be so powerful and the story is going to be like, told in such a memorable way, and it's going to. I know that this film, I've always kept saying, it's going to be more about like okay, the film, the scenic, the scene, the what he's done in the scenes, his story and the performances, all of that is going to be there. But I knew that a big USP for this film would be a mainstream hero looking like this.
Yes.
So what are they trying to say, and why is he doing that will be a question asked, and I'm sure when they see the film that's answered. So I never balked at that, but it's something that others will think twice. I know that.
You know, and the film is inching towards 100 crore club and worldwide, and that's a great success.
Exactly,
It's amazing. But there are also a lot of people, like everybody. I have read all the reviews because the film has still not released here, and I'm dying to watch it. But I've read all the reviews. The one thing that everybody talked about was the writing of the film and the way the characters have been written. The storytelling is something that we should go and watch.
Yes.
It is to look out for. You know, when Parvati, that scene that you have spoken about 10,000 times already, the blouse scene, I cannot get over that scene because we have seen the clips of that scene. I want to ask you this. This might be very different from what you were thinking. You know, as a woman, there was a bra movement. You remember that. Removing and throwing the bra off is liberating. But here we see accepting an undergarment or a blouse was liberating for these women. That was a very different thing. Tell me, what was your perspective? Don't you feel now as a modern woman, when you get home and
Tell me about it.
yeah.
Every single day. I'll be thinking it right now. No, but
So from that, you know, what a modern woman is thinking right now, and then what that women thought when they got that blouse.
at the end of the day, and I have a feeling you'll agree, is that the point is not whether we put on a garment or we take off, it's the fact that are we making the choice? Do we have the right to make the choice? Is it topified on us, or are we banned from doing something? Are you taking away our dignity in making a choice?
Perfect.
At every single time in, that we've seen the bra movement, or when we see Gangamal and the women in the village wearing it's about gaining their dignity back.
And equality.
And equality in that sense
They have
that
a choice.
you are
What she did.
Nangili, what she did with the, breast tax as well. What we realize is that it's always about different ways of finding
voice.
ways to oppress women, and how they have broken those shackles, whether it's putting it on or taking it off. That just happens to be a different thing that's happening around. So for Gangamal, it was that. For us, probably it's about having the freedom, like free the nipple on Instagram, and things like that. We have women who are mothers who are not allowed to feed their babies in public, apparently, because that's shameful. But you're supposed to be a mother too. Huh? You cannot choose not to have a child. So it's like every single aspect of a woman is being so policed that every action of us just living our life becomes an act of rebellion. So I guess that's where we might not have the same thing happening. Even now there are communities who are going through this, which we are not aware of because we are the majoritarian privileged caste. I would call it the oppressive, without even knowing it. If we are still part of it, then we are part of the problem. In that sense, there is a parallel from whether women were living at that time or us living now.
Very well said. It wasn't about putting it on.
Yeah, it's not taking it off. It's about
not
choice.
putting it on
It's
or
the
taking
choice
it off. It's
that
a
she was
choice.
giving
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Because I don't have any more time, I will directly go to this question. We have seen the HEMA committee report came out last week, and what a rewarded feeling that was. With that, we saw resignations coming out, women coming out and talking about how they have been treated and mistreated in the industry. And, before I've already spoken to Parvati about this, I want to talk to both of you. It's just not the Malayalam film industry. This is just a reflection of what is happening in our society. It's about women in workplace, doesn't matter if it's film industry or not. Ajay, tell me, when you are working with so many women, you have scenes that you have to tackle very carefully so that nobody gets hurt sexually, emotionally, physically, everything. How do you make sure that women are safe?
In my set, definitely, I'm sure I very care about that women's basic needs, and also we have some group also. I in my office what is that? The woman.
IC.
IC. Yeah, we created IC.
And, according to Posh laws, we're supposed to have it properly.
Yes. But in cinema industry, we don't have a what that word I.
தமிழ்ல சொல்லுங்க.
தமிழ்ல நமக்கு அந்த விழிப்புணர்வோ இல்லை வந்து அந்த மாதிரி சிஸ்டமோ எதுவுமே இல்லாமல் இருக்குல்ல நமக்கு.
The fact that there is no systemic practice in order to protect it, you have the IC, but he's saying that there isn't more.
To care about more, and we are விழிப்புணர்வு கரெக்டான
விழிப்புணர்வு, I think Vikram might.
Vidipunuru is good.
We're going to get this right.
It's okay, fine. We didn't know about it.
Ignorance, man. That's an ignorance. Vidipuru is the opposite of ignorance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Awareness.
We need to care about
awareness.
everything. We have to tell, and like a woman wants to. Now we are very aware about that. Before that, we didn't we have a care, but we didn't. We didn't tell this.
Like it's not something which is formulated. It's there. We are all aware that he's saying we're all aware that we need to behave. Everything is fine, but
now
no rules.
We all
are conscious about that.
Conscious about that. We are very sure about that. We don't do, and we're not allowed to do like that. If it's happen anything, we need to support.
Address it.
Who is that? Like யார் பாதிக்கப்பட்டாங்களோ victim.
Yeah, whoever is at the receiving end of this.
You have to support this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that anytime someone's asking me anything about this, there's a joy in us also. Because when there is conversation, then there is solution. When there is no conversation, there is no hope. So when there's conversation, it might be uncomfortable, but if you can all just agree, like Banksy said, art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. And that's what we are doing, even with Tangalan, I think.
And Parvati, now we are seeing that the CM has announced that they need to have a committee. They have 10 people.
Gone totally out of the.
Yeah, I'm done with this. I'm so sorry, but this is like she said, there has to be a conversation.
It's a very important thing what you're saying.
Yes, so I cannot not
We'll
talk
wrap
about
it
it.
up at this,
But what do you have to say about that?
No, every movement is welcome as long as there is no shunning. Every action which brings all the stakeholders to the table is a welcome move for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And Ranjit, I have to tell you, thank you for making this film.
Yeah,
It's again a game changer. Every topic that we are talking about has to be spoken about, and people will always ask us to shut up, but we need to talk.
You need to talk. You need to talk.
Yes,
you need
we
to
need
fight.
to talk. Thank you for talking to NDTV.
Thank you.